Good afternoon, everybody. What do you get when you have three morons that worked for another moron on Batwoman, and then you give one of those morons authority over a show that he and another one of the morons co-created, and they hire the woman who has to wear every day the I'm the lesbian at the wedding starter pack? Just to let you know, what do you get when you take that equation? You add it all up, boil it down to the lowest common denominator. Ladies and gentlemen, you get...
You got a 50-50 chance of winning, but I'm a genetic freak, so you got a 25% at best. Your chances of winning drastically go down. You got a 33 and a third chance of winning. I got a 66 and 2/3 chance of winning. You take your 33 and a third chance minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 and a third chance of winning.
James Stottero, Chad Five-Ash, Natalie Abrams, three of the main ingredients from...
Shite. Oh yes, that's shite.
From Batwoman have teamed up to bring us Gotham Knights with all the representation we could ever want. Oh God, I can't even say that with a straight face. This show is horrible from the get-go. It is chock full of trash, tropes, typical CW Berlanti garbage. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to make you wait no longer. I know you're dying to see it, so here it is, my review of the pilot episode of Gotham Knights.
In 5, 4, 3, 2.
Smell shite.
Pilot starts with Bruce's adopted son, Turner Hayes, showing off his fencing abilities, throwing a party at Wayne Manor, and
Who's up for a party at my house?
honor of him making states and fencing, and we meet his best friend, Stephanie Brown, aka the Clue Master's daughter, a race-swapped Carrie Kelly, aka Robin, who's now black and used to be a ginger. Oh no. Lest we forget, this show is made by acolytes of Caroline Dries. We have Stottero, Five-Ash, and Abrams, as we covered in the intro, none of which have the ability to write anything that isn't white man bad, woman and POC's good, alphabet representation good.
Nope.
Yes, folks, that's what this all boils down to. Incidentally, I don't think we get an Alfred in this show because the housekeeper butler role is played by what appears to be a woman of some sort of Asian descent, and her name is Cressida. I don't know what ethnicity she is, although I know this is not Alfred. So we're 3 minutes in, we get 2 race swaps, a gender swap for 2 characters. Boom! Over at Wayne Enterprises, we meet a trio of thieves that have infiltrated Wayne, and they're teenagers. I mean, they've completely disabled the security and just waltz into Bruce's office like it's nothing. Because that's a thing that happens at the headquarters of multi-billion-dollar corporations such as Wayne that are headed up by a masked superhero who is also a billionaire playboy philanthropist. And this basically falls right in line with the theme of Batwoman, to where Bruce's office, everybody just walked on in, from Alice to Black Joker. You have Stottero, Abrams, and Five-Ash. They think very little of security. They think very little of Batman. Like I said, they couldn't wait to off him in this show, and we'll talk about that too. Now allow me to introduce our trio of thieves properly. Their names are Duella Dent, a.k.a. the Joker's daughter, who we saw a different version in Batwoman, and Harper and Cullen Rowe, and boy are these two a pair. The quote-unquote brother and sister, spoiler alert, it's 2 sisters. The duo first appeared in the New 52. We'll get back to that sisters thing later. Of course they did, because identity politics characters sprung from this trash in DC. Harper is a lesbian and Cullen is a... So before we move ahead any further with the proceedings, let's tally up our identity points thus far, because at this point, the checkboxes surpassed the quality writing by a landslide from Stottero, Abrams, and Five-Ash, morons that fell off the idiot tree. From Batwoman, what do we expect? Okay, number 1, Alfred. He was race swapped and gender swapped. We'll give them 2 points. Carrie Kelly, ginger side. She was race swapped to a black girl. 2 points. Harper Rowe, lesbian POC, 2 points. Cullen Rowe, transgender, woman to man. We have to deduct 1 point for toxic masculinity and being white, but we still give them 4 points overall. So back to the moron trio who have expertly broken into Wayne Enterprises, infiltrated Bruce's office without so much as a snag, cracked his safe in a matter of moments, retrieved the revolver that Joe Chill used to kill Thomas and Martha. Why did you say that name?
Why did you say that name?
From Bruce's safe. They discover it's still warm, and then just so happen to notice the sound of a helicopter and the fact that the window in Bruce's office is smashed, and painted on it are the words, "Your bat is dead." And they realize they're screwed because the CW loves to kill off that pesky sign of cis heteronormative toxic white masculinity, aka Bruce Wayne, as we can't have Batman getting in the way of stories about worthless teenage diverse idiots who are confused about how many genders there are. 2, you morons, and no more.
He's out of line, but he's right.
We see Bruce's body unceremoniously lying on the sidewalk with the bat mask on his face. Then we meet our CW Harvey Dent, played by Misha Collins, who probably regrets accepting this role the same way Grace Scott did after taking the role on Batwoman and seeing how it was going to turn out. Of course, Dent's still a white guy, meaning he'll probably be evil or at least antagonistic to our diverse group of youths. Speaking of the youths, who are basically all stick figures with no observable athleticism, the two females proceed to absolutely annihilate 2 armed police officers with guns drawn on them. And let's look at the scene realistically. This is Batwoman 2.0. We're less than 7 minutes in, and 2 unarmed teenage girls have physically beaten down a pair of trained and fully armed 200-pound plus law enforcement officers like they were toddlers. I thought I'd be able to wait a bit longer to say this, but here we are already. Gotham Knights, I can say from the bottom of my heart, fuck you. Upon leaving Wayne Enterprises unimpeded outside of the 2 cops they beat the fuck out of, the trio steals a police cruiser with literally no issues, drives away, radio blaring, sirens on, then Harvey and GCPD show up at Wayne Manor and tell Turner, Hayes, remember Bruce's son that's not Damian Wayne, his adopted father is dead. So the evening's festivities end on a sour note at the delivery of the news. Dent tells Turner Bruce was Batman, which he immediately tells Stephanie Brown, who's the Clue Master's daughter, and his best friend that was making out with Brody, who is his fencing rival. Got all that? While he's crying, and we get our feelings, of course. Turner and Stephanie then stumble across the entrance to the CW Batcave, which is basically a worse version somehow of the Batwoman set, but it's got a CGI river in it now. Wait, that was the title card sequence? The fuck am I supposed to do with that?
Grace!
That's just a car.
We get a funeral scene for Bruce Wayne with horrible CGI snow and a voiceover news report that's not from Rachel Maddow, but a more diverse female reporter. And a cop who's apparently dirty tells Dent they have a tip on where the killers are, aka a diverse group of teens who will be wrongfully accused by white police officers. The SWAT team goes and raids the lair of our diverse teens during the funeral, and they insist on trying to make Duella look tough by kind of knocking around a cop before she's apprehended. And it's hilarious because this is just like Ruby Rose playing Batwoman. They're about the same size. Carrie Kelly is seen putting a rose on Bruce's casket. Dent tells Turner Hayes they caught the killers, and Dent promises they'll find out who put the youths up to the murder. Our exposition dumps continue in the form of news broadcasts, which show us a mutant gang has been pillaging Gotham since the demise of the Dark Knight.
What? Oh no!
And Asian Lady Alfred, or whatever she is, tells Turner he's going to continue to attend school or else. Of course, during her interrogation, Duella is condescending and arrogant, trying to show she's mentally superior to the 2 trained police officers, because of course she is. She's a 100-pound girl. Not only can she beat the hell out of them both at the same time, she can outsmart them as well. And she has a line where she says, "I'm just a girl. I'm no big fancy lawyer, these." Yes, this is actual writing from the retards that wrote Batwoman that failed upwards into getting another TV show on a network that sold for $0 after it was acquired. And David Zaslav was like, what is this again? Turner and Stephanie go down to the Batcave and start playing with computers, which look like a gaming streamer setup and nothing more. This 1966 Bat computer looked better than this. Back at GCPD headquarters, we continue the interrogations, and it's Harper Rowe's turn. She says her dad didn't have a problem with bisexual chicks in his porn. Yes, this is a line that made it into the show, but having one as a daughter is a bridge too much to cross. What a masterclass and extremely well-written dialogue this scene is. Next up is Cullen Rowe, and the detective, who at this point looks like a dollar store Louis C.K. and Denner questioning Cullen, and Louis C.K. says,
Really? Because your birth certificate says you were born.
Don't use his dead name.
You serious?
Oh, and they were serious, folks. They were serious. Harvey Dent was absolutely 100% serious, because when you have a murder suspect who is being interrogated for the suspected involvement in the murder of Bruce Wayne, aka Batman, yes, our biggest concern is that we don't act transphobic and we don't dead name somebody. This is the name that is on their birth certificate. This is the name that's on this woman's birth certificate. This is not a man, this is a female pretending to be a man, but I guess it's equal. All things considered, that the patriarchy is won, because now men are better women than actual women are.
Fuck me, right?
Stephanie and Turner easily find the financial withdrawal that was used to fund the murder of Bruce, and it's made to look as if Turner was the one who paid the trio of non-killers to kill Bruce Wayne. So we have our connective thread between Hayes and the remainder of our ridiculous box-checking cast, except for Race Swap Carrie Kelly. We'll get to that. Down at the station, after bringing in Turner Hayes, our detective Louis C.K. decides to rub one out in his office in front of Sarah Silverman.
How can you tell people not to masturbate?
Turner is put into a cell with Duella, Harper, and Cullen, and then Duella talks about how her dad was banging Harley Quinn in Arkham. Then all three of them start arguing, and Duella, of course, beats on Turner a little bit because he's a white male, and she's a female, and she's automatically stronger, better, smarter. Duella starts to get the best of another large male officer before they're all separated. Yay. Hayes tasks Stephanie with rescuing him because he's a white male, she's a female, she has to rescue him. All four of our diverse gang are, of course, being transported into the same police van to Black Rock, because that's something the plot needed to happen so it can move forward and we can have the inevitable escape, of course. And Duella and the Rose tell Turner the fight was faked in the cell so they can outsmart the police and plan the aforementioned escape. Also, Duella tells Turner that after 5 minutes in the cell with him, they knew he wasn't smart enough to plan the murder, because we constantly need to inform the straight white male that the diverse characters are way smarter and more capable than he is.
That is a cunt move.
Louis C.K., of course, is riding with them and not doing anything that he shouldn't be doing.
How can you tell people not to masturbate?
And another guard who will undoubtedly be getting physically emasculated and beat on by these 80-pound females. And, well, yeah, all three of them are females, and then Turner. We come back from the break and have our 5-vehicle police convoy, and Duella is picking the lock right in front of Louis C.K. while he's...
Go, jacking it, jack, spanking it, jacking it, spanking it, smack.
And the kids beat the shit out of 2 grown men. Yes, 2 trained police officers, one in tactical gear. And they tase the driver, and it makes the truck crash, stopping the whole convoy. Of course, Duella gets out of the truck and has Louis C.K. at gunpoint. And I mean, let's be honest, we all know the only thing he was worried about not being able to do if he got shot in the head by an 80-pound 17-year-old.
Go. Jacking it, jack, spanking it, jacking it, spanking it, smack.
And the other cops who are there, they're all in on the frame job. They're all bad. Every one of these police officers is bad. They're white, they're evil, they're racist, they're bigots, they're transphobes. Every other box-checking piece of shit these retarded writers could throw into one organic globule of a scene to quote... Rosie Perez and White Men Can't Jump. That's what they did here. Louis C.K. gets the gun away from Duella, and then what does he get? He gets a batarang to his right hand. Oh no, he's not going to be... Never mind. The cruiser explodes, and then another, and then... 3 armed police officers are dispatched by diverse black female Robin, who weighs 100 pounds, physically beating them one at a time. They do not shoot at her. They do not attack her in unison. They just stand there and get beat up one at a time by an 80-pound girl. Of course, Duella emasculates Turner again, punches him in the face for not allowing her to murder Louis C.K. for jerking it in front of Sarah Silverman.
Stop it. Get some help.
Then, the diverse team escapes in Carrie's mom's car, and we're left feeling as bad as we did every time an 80-pound woman with zero muscle physically destroys a 200-pound trained law enforcement officer with the ease of pulling a petal off a daisy.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
Carrie tells Turner that Bruce called her his little Robin, and it's complete cringe. Stephanie Brown is at the Batcave working on cracking the case. The team is in the bell tower of the school, and they discover the insignia on the back of Louis C.K.'s watch matches a coin we saw earlier, and it is the symbol for the Court of Owls. So the CW is going to ruin this too. We also find out female Alfred is in on the cover-up, a agent of the Court of Owls, as it were, and Louis C.K. is beheaded by Snake Eyes. I know, it's convoluted, so just try to keep... Oh, that's the end? We're going to see how badly the trio of idiot writers can translate something that was ushered into the mythos back in 2011, just before Harper and Cullen Rowe's first appearances, and look at how bad this show is. There's nothing redeeming about it, from the poor CGI, poor acting, ridiculous fight sequences between 80-pound females, and again, overly accommodating stuntmen who are probably paid far less than they deserve for performing such feats as they do to make these untrained, pathetic, small, weak females look like they can conquer the world with only their bare hands against an army of fully trained men. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not saying that this show is woke. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that this show is complete and utter garbage. It is trash. There is nothing good about it. It is going to be as bad, if not worse, than Batwoman. Yeah, this was only episode 1, folks. The Court of Owls is on its way. Louis C.K. is dead. No more jacking it in San Diego. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you enjoyed this review because it hurt me to make it. But I love you guys. I suffer for you. Have a wonderful day. I'm Etep, and from the Place to Be Reviews, I've been here with all these. If I don't see you, have a great day, a pleasant tomorrow, and I'll catch you on the next one.